You want to know how to break through and get your freedom as an entrepreneur, how to potentially make millions. But 99% of businesses fail. That means that you need the pieces of information that the successful businesses have that the failures don't have. There's actually one concept, one thing that separates almost all successful businesses from almost all failures. After an insane journey, we're going to share that one thing with you.
As you're going to learn, I went from my first business making over 7 figures to trying to start a new business that was more scalable in a bigger market and going entirely broke and getting stuck there for over 3 years. It was terrible. I don't want anybody to go through it like I went through it. But then I learned something. I realized there was one thing that was separating all the businesses that were succeeding from all the businesses that were failing, unless they were like a commodity business. One thing. That one thing involved all the tools these other people were talking about, but it was a certain way of using it. And that one thing changed my life. I went from there to completing everything that was on my list of what I wanted to do before I died. My bucket list, I just don't like that term. Before I turned 30. It let me do whatever I wanted in life. I flew in a fighter jet and broke the speed of sound, which was the top thing on my list. One of the most, probably the most amazing moment of my life. I got to go with a friend to Vietnam and buy a motorcycle and ride the coast. I got to hang out with celebrities like Rob Thomas and Lindsey Vonn. I got to hang out more with friends. I got to do everything that I wanted to do.
Don't you feel your feet on the gravel? I might go travel. Might climb a mountain, jump in a fountain, do what we won't forget. Old street signs in the moonlight. Yeah, it feels right. Running against a wind that your hair fly. Let the beat ride. Take a chance, like you won't regret it if you do it again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'll be on the road again. I'll be on the road again. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'll be on the road again. I'll be on the road again.
But the thing is, this isn't about me. This is about you. This is about how you can find that level of freedom. Because if I can do those things, you can do whatever's on your list too. You want to hang out more with friends and family and not work as much? Done. You want to travel the world? Done. You want to make millions? Done. You got to keep in mind, everything that I did on that list, almost all of it, I was only making 20 grand a month. Wasn't even making millions yet. It's so accessible. And the thing is, you really have to focus on this. I don't believe that I went through those 3 years of pain, deep, deep, deep pain for me. Because I was already really helpful. I was already a good person. I already enjoyed life. I didn't grow that much personally from it. I did grow a lot as an entrepreneur. But I think that I went through all of that so that I could share how I got out of it with everybody else. And guys, again, I know you've tried everything, because I did. I tried all of that. I know it's not working. Or I know if you're just getting started, I know you're thinking about it and it sounds intimidating. I know that. I know that. And I know that there's so many opinions out there that the automatic response is to be skeptical of each thing. That's why we've gone through and made it so clear, and why you can get started on it and start reading the information for free, and we go right into it. Because I know that, and this is about getting you there. It's about getting you there and not leaving you to get stuck, not leaving you behind. Because I just wanted so badly for somebody to tell me the right thing. I just needed that so badly, and there's nobody out there saying it. The reason I wrote a book, because it was the books that eventually gave me the pieces that I then had to put together myself to solve the puzzle. Without those books, I would have never gotten out. So I wanted to write my own book and share how those pieces go together to decide whether a business succeeds or fails, so that other people don't have to go through the same thing. And that is everything that I want for you. I want you to be able to live whatever your version of your dreams is, and I want you to get there without ever even imagining what I had to go through to get there.
And what is that one thing you ask?
Emu farming. They use 1/5 as much land as cattle, they're adorable, they're super friendly, and they fly.
What's that? They don't fly?
And they don't even fly. Their milk makes you fly. No, don't farm emus. Disregard everything he said.
So what is this one thing that basically all successful businesses are doing that basically all the failures are not doing? Is it some trick? Is it something complicated? No, it's a concept. It's a way of doing things. Effectively, all the successful businesses, whether they're Facebook or Starbucks or anybody, they're all using the tools at hand, which are different for each business, to create relationships with customers and then do that in a way that they can scale it. So they're not just presenting their products. They're using multiple exposures and a lot of time of exposure to create relationships. Now let me ask you, in your business efforts or what you're thinking about doing, do you have a way to use tools to connect with customers on a different level than all of your competitors? Because if you don't, you're one of the ones who's not doing this one thing, or you were about to be. And that's why we're giving away the first part of the book for free, because you can dive in and learn a lot about this directly. Because don't you hate it when people are like, sign up for my thing and I'll give you this free star chart, and you're like, thanks, dick, I don't need a star chart, that's irrelevant. That's not what this is. The book was long enough, we just cut off the beginning and just give it to you. Why? Because that helps form a relationship. I have a startup company. We're building a platform. We have venture capital investors. We don't need the money from this. We want to create relationships with you. That's why we would give away the first part of the book. And to make sure that you don't go down that same road that the 99+% of failures go down, because it has to be done this way. If you don't do it this way, I hate to say it, but you're screwed. If you don't do it this way, you can go out and study all the businesses in the world. If you're not doing this and you're not in a commodities business, you're screwed. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And we don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. If you're motivated enough to be here watching this, I don't want that for you. I know some people are going to get offended by this, but guess what? I'm not talking to you. You guys can go and watch another YouTube video. I don't really care. But for the people that do care, this could potentially change your life. And I guarantee it will change your life if you use it properly and if you engage with it and if you just do the work. It's all it takes. Knowledge, creativity, and work.
Do you really want to be an entrepreneur like this?
It's all I can afford to eat today. I better save the rest for tomorrow.
Hey! Guys, the thing that you have to understand, you have to get this, is I had far less resources than you have right now, is in a far worse place than you are right now when I turned things around and made this work. All you have to do is read the first 2 pages of the free section of the book right now, and you will see that when you hear the beginning of my story. You can do this. I know a lot of you are probably thinking he had more resources. I did not. I had less. You're probably thinking he's special. He went to Stanford. I did. And yes, I got to pick a lot of people's brains, but you know what that is? That's knowledge, which I'm giving to you. It's the only advantage. That gave me no advantage when I went out and advertised on the internet, when I sold something. The other person on the other end of the camera, they had no idea of what that means. You really do have to do this one thing, form scalable relationships with customers. We're going to go through and show you how to do that, show you how successful businesses in all areas, from YouTubers to Whole Foods, do that. So the easiest thing to do is just dive in and start showing you some of the sections of the free section that you can get right now if you just tell us where to send it. What I can go the deepest of anybody in the world on, how to form scalable relationships with your customers. The one thing that's separating all these successful businesses from all these others. And then we'll fill in the rest of that picture and help you find any resources that you need.
Well, let's actually take a look inside the free section of the book and see what you're going to be getting. Why you should be so excited about this. So we're going straight into why relationships are different in business. And we talk about that from a psychological point of view. We look at it historically in commerce throughout time, going back to farmers markets 10,000 years ago and things like that. and then we look at how that works in the real world, including how Whole Foods became such a massive business using this concept, how YouTubers on the complete opposite end of the spectrum make so much money with it. And you can imagine if a YouTuber can make a ton of money with it on one hand, an online entertainer and a store can make a lot of money on the other hand, but that fills in pretty much the whole spectrum. And we're going to dive into that throughout the free section, throughout the book, and show you how to do it very specifically. And make sure also that you understand it all. So right here in the early section of the free part of the book that we'll send you right now, if you just tell us where to send it, we start going through how this actually works. One of the first things I thought is that forming relationships with customers sounded difficult, like there must be an easier way. But when I actually dove in and learned about it rather than jumping to conclusions, I found that it isn't that difficult as long as you know what you're doing, which is what we're going through here. Now, I also found that all successful non-commodities businesses do this and all the struggling and failing ones don't, which means if you don't do it, you wind up spinning your wheels and spending far more time, money, and effort trying to do other things that seem easier than just doing it the right way. So this is going to save you a lot of time and effort and make you a lot of money. I had this big block where I wouldn't listen to people if their name wasn't Elon Musk or Richard Branson. I wouldn't take advice from anybody else. And then I talk about here how I found some incredible advice from people like Jeff Walker, who you've probably never heard of, but are serious business experts making a lot of money with a lot of experience, and how that is really what broke me through. So this is about who to listen to, how do you know that they're an expert, and getting past that block so that you can get the right information. All that and a million more topics in the free section of the book. You can see that's like half of a page. So each page would probably be 2 pages on a bookstore book. And you get over 75 pages. And here's another great section, how to get started. So from scratch, what's the first thing that you do? We're going to go over pretty much everything that you need to go out and make millions right here in the free section. And then as you continue, we're going to dive deeper into those and help you really execute those. But I guarantee there's going to be millionaires made just off the free section of the book. So if you're not reading this, if you don't get this, you're crazy. I don't know what to say.
And for those of you that think a few minutes is too much to invest in your own success, it's only your life we're talking about. But you know what? It's fine. Go watch a few other YouTube videos. I'll talk to the people that actually give a crap. Best case scenario, I do know what I'm talking about. I went to Stanford. I'm friends, close personal friends with the founder of Instagram, as well as a lot of other Silicon Valley top entrepreneurs like Lisa Falzone, who started Revel Systems and sold it for over $100 million. The guy who's 3 or 4 on the team at Airbnb, also worth hundreds of millions. I've done over $500,000 of ad testing myself. Best case scenario, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and this changes your life.
I would say if you execute everything in here properly, it should be worth at least $150,000 to you over the next 2 years alone. Best case scenario, just trying this, just seeing for yourself and forming your own opinion, just starting it, showing us where to send it. We'll send it to you by email. Just tell us where to send it, start it, and see for yourself. Because it really, really might change your life. But whatever you do not just reinvent the wheel. Go out and learn from smart people what the best practices are, and then innovate in 2 to 3 areas. Guys, please give it a shot and see for yourself. I'll see you on the other side.